Electricast.
There are people out there all across the country pushing boundaries to grow the game of golf. Like champion speed golfer Lauren Cupp, who plays faster than anyone else. And Will Lowry, whose work in the golf community inspires more kids to get into the game. As a champion partner of the Masters, Bank of America supports everyone determined to find out what's possible. In golf and in life. What would you like the power to do? Bank of America. Bank of America N.A. member FDIC, copyright 2025, Bank of America Corporation, all rights reserved.
The kids are still at practice, and I have no idea what's for dinner.
You can get a rotisserie chicken and 2 sides for just $15 in as fast as an hour with Walmart Express Delivery.
Who said that? Who's in my house? Don't play with me, because I'm not the one.
It's just your friendly Walmart announcer. This is a commercial.
Oh, okay. You were saying dinner for a family was just $15?
Yep, it'll be at your door by the time you get the kids home from practice. Order now. Welcome to your Walmart. Subject to availability, restrictions and fees apply.
Now that was a helpful commercial.
Welcome into Missing the Point. I'm your host, Michael Marcangelo, joined by my boys, the real BK Bob Kelly, Hollywood Rayshawn Buchanan, and it is this month the 20-year anniversary of the historic trade of Nomar Garciaparra from the Boston Red Sox, which we'll talk about a little bit more in depth. So we thought, why not do another top 10 list, MTP style, analyzing the top 10 trades in Boston sports history. I was just told in my ear, it doesn't have to be positive, it can be negative as well. So this is going to be something. I got my guys, like I said here, the real BK Bob Kelly, Hollywood Rayshawn Buchanan. Bob, how are we feeling about the list before we go into making it? Like, what are your thoughts? Where's your head at? Is this going to be positive or is it going to be mostly negative for you?
I mean, definitely mostly positive. There's definitely a lot of positive trades that belong on this list, but there is some negative ones that did stand out to me. I think we'll get to, but yeah, no, this is going to be good. I'm excited.
Ray?
Yeah, I tried to make sure it was balanced. I tried, but it may lean towards the positive, but there's definitely some trades where you're like, I can't believe that happened. So, or why did it happen? So, and obviously, like I said, you led off with the Nomar thing. So obviously we'll get into that later on the show. So
I think you all are going to be surprised, but I never once thought to put negative trades in my list. So I was all positive, which is...
Well, we were prepared for that because of who put the show together. So when you talked to us about this, I was like, okay, it can't just be all like, oh, like what helped bring a championship? Who was a good player? Like it has to be something that was like something that took away.
I thought about putting the Joe Thornton trade on it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Wow. Yeah. Once again, we're not getting into the list yet, but yeah, that is something I thought about too. But he's not on.
So for those of you listening at home that are not familiar with the rules of how we do our top 10 lists here at MTP, let me give you a little rundown. We each have our own lists, but that is not fun. So we are going to make a top 10 definitive lists as voted on by us. How we vote. Everyone's going to get a turn. Everyone here gets 2 vetoes. So an example of that would be if I led off with number 10 and said the Babe Ruth trade from the Red Sox to the Yankees. And Bobby said, fuck you, Mike, it should be higher. I'm going to veto that. Or it shouldn't be on the list. He can veto that. Give his example. And then Ray has the ability to veto that as well. I cannot veto 2 vetoes. So the goal here is to be strategic. Obviously, make sure that you get all your shit on the list. We saw how well that worked out for us last time, and then in the wrestling show 2 times ago, where the Undertaker is still not in the top 10, but whatever, or on the list at all. So here we go with the number 10 pick in the top 10 trades in Boston sports history. Ray has been on the clock all day. The floor is yours.
Yeah, this was definitely strategic in trying to get one of you to veto right away. I'm going to go with the Josh Beckett trade back in 2005. That traded, yeah, that's good. Shake your head. But big time prospect at the time, Haley Ramirez goes back to Florida. I think becomes an all-star, down there. But Beckett and Mike Lowe come here to Boston. A bit of a shaky first season because obviously that team I think went like 86 or 76. But then obviously they go on a dominant run the next year and win the World Series in 2007. So that trade was a huge trade because it helped propel us to the second ring in 4 years and gave us a nice run until the chicken and beer debacle. So that's at number 10 for me.
Roberto, what do you think of his number 10 pick?
No veto here. I think that's a great pick. Not one that I put on my list. Not one that I had. So
Really?
I'm happy. I'm happy you put it on there. I kind of not forgot about it, but I kind of didn't make my top 10. The reason it belongs on here though is because of Mike Lowe. You know what I mean? If we just got Beckett, that'd be one thing.
Well,
But Mike Lowe into that deal, and I think that really caps it and puts it on that list because he was the MVP of that World Series. So
Right.
yeah. Well, Ray, if you were hoping to give you to veto this, in the words of your favorite president, George W. Bush, mission accomplished. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go ahead and veto this one, just on the fact that they won. They won a championship. This trade directly led to them winning a championship. Yes, 2006 was a rough year. Ortiz had his health problems. They had David Wells in the starting roster. But in the next year, 2007, Josh Beckett was a Cy Young candidate. He lost to CC Sabathia that year. Mike Lowell was the World Series MVP. And it's the second championship in, what was that, 89 years since the Babe Ruth trade. So this is not number 10. That's bullshit. What is number 10? That no one can go, so this is great. Is Cam Neely traded to Boston by the Vancouver Canucks?
Nice one. I had that.
Cam Neely is one of the greatest Boston sports athletes that we have. Cam Neely was traded along with Vancouver's first pick, third overall in the 1987 NHL entry draft, to Boston for Barry Peterson. Right, Cam Neely is a great hometown athlete, but this trade yielded no championships, no rings, which is the most important thing when talking about top 10 trades in Titletown. So no, we're Beckett. They're going to go higher up on the list. If I have to use another veto, fine. But we're sticking with Vancouver trading Cam Neely to Boston at number 10. You can't overrule it, Ray. But what are your thoughts on that?
That was that I did look at that earlier. That, I mean, listen, I obviously I can't go against it now, but that was obviously he's someone that's in, he's in the Raptors here. He still has his hand in the team now. So I mean, it's really been a lifelong thing with him. But I mean, as a player, once again, he was special. Him and Bork were a hell of a duo. For about a decade or so here. So,
yep.
Yeah, I mean, hey, like I said, I mean, I know they went to the Stanley Cup, I think, in '86 when he got here. Made the playoffs several times, but like I said, just never was able to get over the hump, unfortunately. So, but either way, hell of a player. But like I said, he still has his imprint on the organization to this day.
All right, Bobby, number 9.
I don't know if this is too early, but I'm going to go the Boston Celtics trading the number 1 pick and Markelle Fultz, the future Markelle Fultz, for Jayson Tatum and another first-round pick. I feel like,
damn,
yeah, it's an underrated trade because there was so much more that led to what that trade got us, but what an absolute savage of a trade by Danny Ainge, and have the balls to make that trade. It definitely belongs on this list. It's a little early being number 9, but there's just so many trades that go, you know what I mean, that belong on this list. I feel like number 9 is a good spot for it. So I'm going to go with the Tatum trade, number 9.
I did not have this on my list, so I will not veto it. I think that it's a great curveball because that was one of the defining parts, obviously, of the 2024 championship season. So, Ray, what are you gonna do?
Yeah, like I said, curveball is right. I will not use a veto this early, so I will let that stay. Like I said, I had some others. I had another one that I thought could have went there, but once again, we can just move it down the list. So that's fine. Once again, for what it ended up becoming and the fleece and finesse that it was, thank you.
I was with Mike the night that trade happened, by the way.
It's true.
I remember specifically, like it coming out. Whose wedding? We were at a wedding.
Yeah, that checks out.
Yeah.
Probably shouldn't tell insider information on the podcast, but for number 8, I'm going to stick with the green because I fear that they're not going to get on this list based off of all the things that I've just heard in the last 5 minutes. So I want to make sure they get on there. September 9th, 1980. Robert Parish is traded from the Golden State Warriors, along with the draft pick that turned out to be Kevin McHale, to the Boston Celtics. Robert Parish played 4 seasons for the Warriors. 1980, he was traded to the Celtics along with the draft pick that the Celtics obviously would use to now form 2/3 of the big three that they had there with Larry Bird. This big three won 3 championships in Boston. This is the first one of the first blockbuster trades done, in my opinion. And I think the way that I assembled my list was championships. I think that you all did it in a different way, so I need to make sure that these guys are on it. So for me, like I said, number 8 is going to be Parish and McHale. Right?
Yeah, we finally agree.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah, that was on there. It had to be that had to be on there once again for what it meant for. Once again, obviously, we know what they were in the 60s. They won 2 in the 70s, but it's like this team this trade brought back Celtics dominance in the 80s, right? Going to 4 straight finals from 84 to 87, like you said, winning 3 titles. They had their hand in a lot of different matchups of teams. Like you had to run through them to get to the finals. So yeah, I mean, listen, it was I think Joe Barry Carroll, I think who went back in the deal for him like that. And once again, the only reason why we know that name is because of Kevin McHale and Robert Parish. So it's like, yeah, listen, I don't know who the guy was in Golden State, but thank you, thank you for Red Auerbach. And our guy Jan Volk, thank you for friend of the show. Thank you for that, because without that, like I said, we're not 3-time, or no, we're not 3-time champions in the 80s. So thank you, thank you, Golden State.
All right, Bobby.
I'm tempted to veto this just because it could be even higher. But
yeah, no, it should be higher, but based off of how you put your list together and how Ray put his list together, I think we're going to run out of spots quick. We only have 7 more.
Because I have a couple of trades that I had that like.
Do it, man. Swing it.
Yeah,
do it.
I'm gonna veto this, and we're gonna put Heathcliff Slocum for Derek Lowe and Jason Varitek in this spot.
Wow. Boom, boom,
Because the Varitek trade that belongs on this list because of, again, what a fleece it was, and because of who brought us into this list. We got Jason Varitek for nobody and Derek Lowe. So that's 04, 07.
I just want those of you listening at home to understand that while Bobby has good intentions, there is a real possibility that he just removed Kevin McHale and Robert Parish for Derek Lowe and Jason Varitek.
But no, because they belong higher on the list. Though.
Yes, but so did the Undertaker. He didn't make it. So I'm just letting you know what could happen now.
You know what's happening, right? You know they're not going to be on the list. Right?
Right.
But they were brought up. So Craig, do the clips however you want to do it, baby. They made it.
That is listen.
I get it though. I get it.
When you think about the fact that in that 04 World Series, Derek Lowe started or pitched in every single one of those postseason clinching games, that's huge. And Varitek was captain.
And Varitek is Varitek. He's El Capitan.
Yeah.
And it was for Heathcliff Slope. And it's for nostalgic purposes as well. It really belongs there for me.
Right. Yeah, because it's earlier. Never mind. I'm not going to argue with you. Number 7.
Nostalgic for me, personally.
No, it's for all of us.
Listen, this is our list. This is a living, breathing document. It's our declaration of independence for the top 10 trades.
Yeah. Well, what's it? It's fluid. It's
fluid. Yeah. I'm not Molly though. Go ahead. Number 7, Ray.
Oh my God, I'm going with the Curt Schilling trade.
Jesus Christ.
Nope.
That was next on my list too.
Yeah, Curt Schilling. Hey, listen. For what? Pulling that trade. I think was it Brandon Lyon and I forget who else was in that deal.
Casey Fossum,
Jorge De La Rosa, Casey Fossum, Mike Goss, and Brandon Lyon.
Yeah. So look at that. So you gave him away for a bag of Blue Diamond almonds. Like not a sponsor, but phenomenal snack.
Casey Fossum was supposed to be like the next.
Yeah, he was.
big
Yeah,
thing.
he was.
Remember
supposed
that
to be-
he was like the he was the big piece in that trade.
What's the dude what's the lefty that was in? I know we're about to go down that rabbit hole.
Bartolo Colon.
No. What's the guy in Tampa Bay, the left-hander, Scott Kazmir. That was like he was like another
Yep.
he was another guy like that. It was supposed to be like that. It was just like, nah, you're not that guy, buddy. But
He never ended up being
like I said,
that
once
guy.
again, if we're talking championships, yeah, he was part of 2 championship teams here. Once again, like bloody saw game. Need I say more? Like once again, what he has turned into as a villain here, that's a whole nother story for another day. But once again, that trade and what it brought to the city is undeniable. So like Theo Epstein pulling off that trade was magical, and it set the tone for the 04 year, like hands down.
Bobby?
I'm not going to veto this. This is exactly where I had it on my list. I had the tech trades and
Yes.
the Curt Schilling trade back to back. So
Yes.
those 2 trades are the best Red Sox trades in the history of the Red Sox. They brought championships to the building, and without them, we don't have. I mean, I don't want to say we don't have any championships, but the 04 really broke the gates down on the rest of them. So
Yep. I mean, I just remember watching those commercials when it happened, the Ford commercials when Curt was hitchhiking. I got to go to Boston. They get an 86-year-old commercial break. He did it. He was, the bloody sock game. I think this is I think it should be higher because Curt Schilling was part of 2 championships with the Red Sox. Remember, he was still on the 07 team. So
Yeah,
that's how I'm grading it. But I'm not willing to lose a veto on this. So at number 7, we're going to have Curt Schilling being traded to the Red Sox by the Arizona Diamondbacks for a bunch of baseballs. So now we have number 6 overall pick in the top 10, which is going to be me. And I need to make sure that this gets on the list. So with the number 6 overall pick, I'm going to do Phil Esposito traded to the Boston Bruins from Chicago. In 1967, Esposito was dealt with Ken Hodge and Fred Stanfeld to the Boston Bruins in a blockbuster trade. They won 2 championships. Esposito went on to become one of the greatest scorers in the NHL and one of the best players in Boston history, although he doesn't care to be here anymore. This was too important. These are the last 2 titles that they won before they won again in 2011. So my tentative pick for number 6, like I said, is Phil Esposito being traded to Boston and Chicago. Can't wait for Ray to block this.
I know, but it's I don't have a good reason to veto it though.
You don't need one.
I was literally thinking, like, as you're just talking, I'm just like, can I poke a hole there? Can I poke a hole there? Like, and I can't, because like you said, those teams of the 70s were, I said once again,
they were so good.
When you watch, and this is for those that are younger listeners than us, when there was a show on ESPN called Sports Century, ESPN Classic, and in their intro, you would see, I said, Bobby Orr jumping through the air when they won. Obviously, Esposito was on those teams. And it's like, that team was synonymous. Like, it was a hockey town in that era. So once again, long before we were born, but those guys put on, a clinic in the early to mid 70s. So, before Montreal had taken over. So yeah, I was, once again, I thought about how to poke a hole. I'm going to veto one at some point, but it can't be this. I can't go against this.
Bobby?
No, I'm not going to veto. I have the next pick, so I can stay.
oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So we now have the number 10 is Cam Neely being traded to Boston by Vancouver. Number 9 is Danny Ainge trades the number 1 overall pick, which ended up being Markel Fultz to go back to number 3, which he chose Jayson Tatum and changed our franchise for the better. Number 8, Cliff Slocum for Derek Lowe and Jason Varitek. Number 7, Curt Schilling. Number 6, Phil Esposito to the Bruins from Chicago. So with the 5th best trade in Boston sports history, or top trade, I guess, in Boston sports history. Robert Kelly, the floor is yours.
We're gonna go Trader Danny again. Trader Danny doing magic, and we're gonna go the Paul Pierce, Kevin Garnett, Jason Terry trade for the kit and caboodle that we ended up getting, which also included Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown
And Marcus Smart.
and the entire dynasty that we have today, essentially. So Paul Pierce, Jason Terry, Kevin Garnett, and DJ White for the entire dynasty.
DJ White.
DJ White, yeah.
DJ White. Celtics legend. DJ White. Oh my God. Wow.
Right?
What a time. I mean, listen,
actually, well, hold on. Is it me or is it you? It's me.
No, go ahead.
Yeah,
I know you got something to say. Go ahead.
I'm not gonna veto that.
Yeah, spoiler alert. I'm not either. I had it 5-2, Bobby. Let's go. That's why I smiled. Right, I gave mine away. I smiled as soon as you said it. I was like, yes. Like I had that at 5 because I'm just like, it's too important. It's too important to what happened after. Like there was so many pieces. Like I think you got Smart. Just like you said, you got Rozier. I think you got Rozier after that too, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, Rozier.
So that might have been their own pick. That might have been their own pick, but it was like they had. It was so much that happened that transpired from that. Like once again, Billy King, I love you, my brother in Christ. I love you. Like you
just gave us so many chips.
And you gave us so much. Like you gave
so many chips for
like,
so long. Do you remember how like every single draft, the Celtics were the number one pick or the number one talk of like who's going to trade up, which big star is going to Boston? It was every single offseason for what?
About 5 years.
For 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
So.
Listen, I mean, they don't have Ring of Honor. They just have the jersey retirements, but
and it was no one, by the way, which is the craziest part of the whole thing.
Billy King should be in our Ring of Honor here. Like he deserves. Like there should be a thing on the rafters that says King, be King. Like he deserves it because he deserves a ring. I would, if I'm Rick Grossbeck, and I would send Billy King a ring and say, brother, I thank you for the championship. Because
what a kick in the balls that would be, huh?
Yeah. Well, Wick should probably ask his daddy if he can do that first. So with the number 4 overall pick in the top 10 trades in Boston sports history, Ray?
I'm almost sure this is going to get vetoed, but it's fine. Once again, I just think just what he meant to the organization. Still sticking with the Celtics. I'm going with the Marcus Smart trade. Once again, what it brought us, it recency bias, but it helped bring us the ring, man. And Marcus was a beloved figure. We're going to talk about another beloved figure shortly. But once again, been here for 10 years. Was in the playoffs every year that he was here. Made the finals with him. Numerous conference finals, defensive player of the year. Obviously fan favorite, even though it was a super love-hate relationship with him. But him being dealt, landing us Kristaps Porzingis literally changed the landscape, like literally. So like, I don't know. Once again, is it a recency bias pick? Absolutely. Do I expect it to get vetoed? Absolutely. But I had to put it out there because to me, like I said, it was equally as important as some other moves that we talked about on there.
Bobby?
I'm gonna veto it. Do I have a veto left?
Yes, this is your final veto. Final veto alert.
Yeah, I'm gonna veto this. This belongs, but it belongs closer to like 9 or 10. I feel like I'm putting the Ray Allen trade here.
Oh Jesus!
I'm putting the Ray Allen draft day trade at this spot. This is a Celtics heavy.
Well, hey, remember Mike told us we couldn't combine.
I know.
So I'm like, he messed us up early with that. I was like, well, certain moves I can't combine.
So wait, what was the one? What was the one that we vetoed to keep it back?
No. You removed. Just remember, you removed Robert Parish and KG.
That's right.
Or not KG.
Listen, they're gone. They're gone.
He just asked, and Kevin McHale. For Varitek and Derek Lowe, and now you're advocating to put Ray Allen at number 4. That is your pick, right?
Ray Allen at number 4, yes.
Yeah. So for those of you that don't remember, on June 28th, 2007 draft day, the Boston Celtics acquired Ray Allen from the Seattle SuperSonics for Delonte West, Wally Zerbiak, and the rights to the number 5 overall pick, which ended up being Jeff Green.
Yeah.
So that's a hell of. I mean,
Jaylen Brown, number 1.
It's a great pick. I'm going to use my last veto as well to veto that motherfucker. And because I don't think this is going to make it either, and it should. November 18th, 1997, Pedro Martinez is traded to the Boston Red Sox from the Montreal Expos.
And
this is a transformational pick for a trade for the organization, which is just reeling from the loss of Roger Clemens. They got their number 1 ace. Dan Duquette gets a lot of shit in this town, but he is the one that brought us Pedro. He brought us Manny. He literally built what would you say, 4/5 of that 2004 championship team. None of it happens without Pedro, though. I mean, Pedro was a tone setter, and even though his production dipped off in 2004, he was a seminal part of that championship. He deserves to be on the list. We don't win in 04 without Pedro. So sorry, Bobby, and I guess sorry, Ray. But
no, they deserve to be on the list. To me that would have been higher for me, but that's fine. That's totally
we have 3 more picks.
Right? No, they did. Yeah, okay.
And there's so many trades. There's so many trades.
Oh my god.
Okay, Bobby, number 3.
Oh, it's me. Shit.
Yeah, Ray ends with number 1, and you and I are out of vetoes, so he's gonna get his number 1.
I don't know what
love that.
All right. Kevin, if we're not gonna get Ray Allen on this list, we need to get Kevin Garnett on this list. All right. I don't care what anyone says. He brought back, even still today, me saying we have championship DNA. That doesn't happen without that 2007-2008 Celtics team. So Kevin Garnett needs to be on this list. I don't care what anyone says. You guys can veto it if you want, but Kevin Garnett.
I assure you, I cannot.
Yeah.
So. All right. Well, Kevin Garnett's going to be on this list then.
Yep. Yeah.
He brought back winning to Boston. So
outline that trade. I mean, and the fact that Garnett was traded to the Celtics in exchange for Al Jefferson, Ryan Gomes, Sebastian Telfair, Gerald Green, Theo Ratliff, cash considerations, and the 2009 first-round pick from the Celtics. And I think it was still a steal.
Yeah,
I mean, what we got from that.
We traded the entire team essentially.
What I remember about the talk radio and just talk shows at that time, because that's what I think it was mostly Dickerson and Tangway on Sportsnet at that time. Folks were really pissed about losing Al Jefferson, and I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with y'all, bro? Like, once again, Al Jefferson was nice. I was watching some tape of him earlier. He could get you 18-8 a night. Like he would do really well to his game too. Back to the basket.
Probably would have developed a jumper. He seems like
would
have developed a jumper.
He had a good career in Utah, Minnesota. Like he had a nice little run. But I'm like, yo, this was Kevin Garnett, bro. Like I remember I was in Losses Barbershop. So I was at Losses Barbershop in Mandapan. It was July 31st, 2007. Never forget it. I'm in there getting my lineup and watching ESPN. Dun-dun-dun. Kevin Garnett's big trades to Boston. And I was like, oh my God. I said first Ray, then KG.
Yep.
Line me up. On the words of Jerry Springer, turn me on, baby. I was ready. Listen, they ran through the league. So yeah, there's not that should not be that cannot be vetoed. It won't be vetoed. KG's there at 3. Cool. No worries about that. I'm fine with that.
All right, so I have seeking suspicion because Ray has both of his vetoes left that whatever I pick here is going to be vetoed. But I'm gonna pick it anyway. Number 2 is Nomar Garciaparra being traded by the Boston Red Sox to the Chicago Cubs. Chicago acquired Nomar and Matt Merton from the Red Sox as a part of a 4-team trade, but we get Doug Mankiewicz and Orlando Cabrera. And again, 20 years ago this month, in a situation where Nomar is just off the heels of that Yankee series where we talked about this a couple weeks ago, where Jeter's diving into the stands to catch a ball. Nomar's crying in the dugout. Nomar was he was being positioned as the next Ted Williams, next Carl Yastrzemski here in Boston. He had 372 in what is that 98? or 99, 99.
Either 99 or 2000.
Yeah, I mean,
him and Todd Hilton were, neck and neck, and then, at that time. But yeah,
and like he looked like he was going to be the next face of MLB, and to the point where we traded him, he still was. He was still that guy, and his career. I mean, after that, with the Cubs, fell off. He then I think finished up in LA a few years later. But
in Oakland, yeah.
Oakland, yeah.
Was it Oakland? But he was on the Dodgers too.
No, he played.
Yeah.
It was the not White Sox, geez, the Cubs. Then the Dodgers.
Then the Athletics.
For the Athletics, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean that trade in a situation where we had good bats, we needed it to fortify the infield. Mankiewicz and Cabrera. I mean, Cabrera was everything that we needed him to be on the defensive side of the diamond, and I think you saw it instantly. Like that trade. It's hard to say this because I do love Nomar, right? They went on a tear in August. They went on a tear in September, and then they reversed the curse. I don't think it happens with Nomar on the team, and that's why I'm making a pitch for it to be the number 2 top 10 trade in Boston sports history. Ray has veto power, but Bobby, you can go first.
I don't have veto power, but
I know.
That trade is it's weird because the people involved in the trade aren't necessarily like blockbusters, but it was an addition by subtraction trade. Yep. That just with him off the roster instantly, it was a different team.
Were they playing in Minnesota that day when it happened? I think they were. So. They were playing in the old Humphrey Dome, and like everything. So for those again, if we have any younger listeners out there, if you look at this trade on paper, you would think that it's nothing. It's one of those things that you had to be there to see it. You had to see what happened after, and what happened after was again, they went on an absolute freaking tear in August. They were the highest scoring and best defensive team from July 31st through the end of the regular season. I don't know that it's because of that trade, but when they had Nomar and when he was in the locker room and in the dugout, they weren't doing that. So, all right, Ray, you have the veto power. What are you gonna do?
Yeah, like sentiment, like and this is listen. This is I want to say this, but this is with complete bias. So I don't want you to make it seem like it is with complete bias.
Oh, this is veto.
That I vetoed this because once again, I like I say like I'm putting Babe Ruth there. I'm putting Babe Ruth at number 2. Obviously we know what happened. They won 5 in the first 15 years. They trade him. We had the curse. So and that's all I have to say. We know the story about Babe Ruth. I don't have to get into detail about that. But we know what happened with Babe Ruth and what happened with the Yankees and Red Sox after that. So
there was the curse. In case anyone out there doesn't know, it was the curse of the Bambino.
Yeah, curse of the Bambino. So I like I do, and I was like I do have number 1. So you already know where I'm going with number 1 after that.
Is it Mr. Russell?
No, I'm going with what we just talked about. That is number fucking 1.
Oh.
Yeah.
Omar?
No, yes, that's this guy. That's what I said with complete bias.
Oh no shit. Okay.
That was listen. Listen, man. And I've been waiting on this all day to talk about this because it's
way
still,
to end the podcast. That's perfect.
It still hurts me that fucking happened. Like once again, I remember exactly where I was. Like I told you, I remember where I was with the
Nomar was in case anyone forgets, dude. He was God. He was God.
He was the man. And it's like I was at my grandmother's house on Stevens. I never forget it. Right here in Dorchester, in Boston, and we're sitting there, we're watching the TV.
Wow.
And Carl Ravitch, who used to do Baseball Tonight, was when I'm dating myself when I say that. But those who know Carl Ravitch, Baseball Tonight was a great show back in the day. Him, Tim Kirchin, the crew, great. And I'll never forget watching their deadline special. And seeing that Nomar Garciaparra got traded. Like I cried, bro. I'm telling like tears. Like he was the fucking man here. There's no, I don't care about Babe Ruth. I don't care about Fred Lynn. I don't care about anybody y'all want to talk about. Nomar Garciaparra was the guy in this city when we were kids. Not Paul Pierce, not Anton Walker, not Joe Thornton, whose name was brought up here earlier. Anybody you want to name, Nomar Garciaparra was the guy. He was. And when that happened, once again, that's why I didn't have an attachment, or I was super pissed when Marcus Smart got traded. I didn't have an attachment with other guys when KG and Paul and them got dealt. You know why? Because I was like, once I saw Nomar got dealt, I said, well, damn, if that guy who meant that much to the city could get moved, any fucking body can get moved. So that's by far number one. And like I said, I've been sitting in that all day, because when we were going to talk about this, I was like, hey, I still very much love Nomar. I wish that he was back in the city in some capacity, because, like I said, once again, he was by far my favorite player as a kid. You know, him and Ken Griffey Jr. So yeah, I just, to me, he's number one. I'm sorry, like that dude was the man here. Once again, I know what it propelled to and what it became, but in that moment, that raw emotion. Once again, 20 years later, I still feel the same way I felt.
Yeah, 100%.
So he was the man.
So I don't want to say I told you so, Bobby, but I fucking told you so. So here is the definitive.
Yeah, I did not.
Yeah, been there. Here's the top 10, the MTP top 10 list of trades in Boston sports history. Number 10, Cam Neely is traded to Boston from Vancouver. Number 9, Danny Ainge, Shooter Danny, Trader Danny trades number 1 overall pick, goes back to number 3, selects Jayson Tatum over McHale Fultz. Everyone ridiculed him at the time. Looks like he was right. Number 8, Heathcliff Slocum was traded for Derek Lowe and Jason Varitek. Number 7, Curt Schilling was traded to the Red Sox by the Arizona Diamondbacks. Number 6, Phil Esposito was traded to Boston from Chicago. Number 5, the Celtics trade KG, Paul Pierce, Jason Terry to Brooklyn for every pick for the next 5 or 10 years. And that's what helped build the dynasty. Number 4, Pedro Martinez is traded to the Boston Red Sox by the Montreal Expos. Number 3, KG traded to Boston by Minnesota for the entire roster. Number 2, the Red Sox trade Babe Ruth to the Yankees, which begins the 86-year curse of the Bambino. And number 1, Nomar Garciaparra is traded by the Boston Red Sox to the Chicago Cubs in a 14 deal that brought Orlando Cabrera and Doug Mankiewicz to the Red Sox to end the 86-year curse of the Bambino.
So, I can't believe there's another one that we didn't bring up. So
let's talk about it
as an honorable mention. And I feel like we both know where I'm going with this. We didn't even touch Randy Moss.
He didn't win a championship.
Yeah,
Okay,
I thought about Moss.
That 07 season. With that 07 season, that joy
trading up to get Gronk.
Yeah, that too. But I guess in hindsight, yeah. But I mean, no one knew what he was going to become. You knew. I mean, once again, getting Randy for a 4th, my God. Like, I don't care. Even at age 29, like getting him for a 4th rounder, and then they put on what is, like I said, the greatest regular season of all time. Like, once again, maybe they don't. That's what they didn't make the list, but they damn sure deserve an honorable mention. Like that. That's why it had to be that had to be put on there, because I know someone was like, "Oh, you know, put Randy Moss." So yes, like Randy Moss deserves the honorable mention.
That's the tough part about
that's the thing about the list. Once again, we left McHale and Parish, 2/3 of the big 3 here that was here for 15 seasons, just about. We left off the list.
No, don't you make it sound less nefarious when you say that we left them off. Bobby fucking removed them from the list. That's what happened. They were on there. Another thing, so my honorable mentions. I want to talk about that. I want to go through some of yours before we talk again a little bit more about Nomar. Randy Moss, obviously. Wes Welker traded to New England by Miami. Literally, the Patriots acquired Wes Welker as a kick returner in exchange for an undisclosed draft pick. And Wes Welker went on to have 5 straight seasons of 100+ catches.
Crazy.
Again, no championships. LA sends 1st-round pick to Boston in 1978. That's Ray Bork.
Yeah.
He's not on the list. That was really, obviously, we mentioned Smart for Porzingis, and we mentioned Drew Holiday for Time Lord and Brogdon.
What about the the Celtics trading up to get Bill Russell? That kind of counts.
Yeah, sure. You know, he won back-to-back national championships at San Francisco at the time. You know, and like I said, once again, we know what, you know, the pioneer that Red Auerbach was, you know, with getting just talent in general, not just black talent, but just the man had. If he was a white player that was dominant, he had you. If he was a black player and dominant, he had you. So that's just what it was. But to keep the Celtics team going, this is lower on the scale. But this starting five never lost a series in the playoffs, and that's what the Kendrick Perkins trade to OKC to get Jeff Green back here. That we were mad about that at the time too. Once again, we know what we feel about him currently now as an analyst, but when he got traded there in 2011, and that team had not had another healthy run again because whether KG got hurt, other guys got shipped out. We were mad about that.
Did he get traded in 2010? Because weren't we?
Oh, I thought it was 2011, but it was.
We wanted to have him in the finals against LA, but we went to Game 7.
He got hurt. He got hurt
there.
Yeah,
he got hurt in the 2010 Game 6. He hurt his knee.
You're right.
He's coming back because they signed Shaq that year in the offseason.
Yeah.
And then, like I said, they moved him around right before the trade deadline for Jeff Green. Danny Ainge's reasoning, actually, he wasn't wrong, but it was just like we weren't trying to hear it because it was like, hey, he hadn't lost here. This starting five had not lost. Like, just let them get one more run together. But getting Jeff Green in hindsight made sense because the league was becoming more athletic. You needed another wing.
What a terrible deal that was, though.
Yeah, but he was.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. We look back at it now, but I'm like, Jeff Green had some decent moments here, like, but it was just like I get
his
it.
Second run was better.
Absolutely. But once again, the fact that he's still in the league now after having that heart issue, whatever. Like, so I mean, kudos to him. But like I said, once again, at the time, the raw emotion was just like, why are you giving up on?
Shows how athletic he really was, though. Shows how.
Oh yeah, crazy. Was Danny Ainge was speaking like he knew, but it was just like, bro, this is prime LeBron, prime Wade, prime Bosh. Like, we need a couple of more bodies, and like, so obviously we never got past them at that time after 2010. So, but yeah, I don't know. I was just like, yeah, but there's a few. I said we talked about Joe Thornton as well. There's a lot out there. And I say, once again, when this comes out, leave the comments the ones that
I can't believe you got Nomar number one. That's
I once again,
I can't believe that Robert Parish.
Sentimentally, huh?
I can't believe that Robert Parish and Kevin McHale were removed.
Yeah, that's up there with
that Varitek Lowe one doesn't make it on. Were you guys gonna put that? That's a pretty big trade too.
No, I didn't honestly. I even though. That trade was big. Obviously, you got two key components of the
Varitek.
I didn't even have that on my list.
All that pitching success.
Varitek and Lowe to me were no more. And that's what I'm saying. Like, you didn't even hear me give emotion when we talked about the Varitek thing. I was like, yeah, cool, all right, great. But I'm like losing Nomar. Like I said, that's, and once again, there's gonna be people that listen to this that had the same emotion that I just gave a few moments ago. So it's different. Once again, for what the results were and what Varitek became, what Lowe became, even though he left right after they won the championship and moving on to Atlanta and LA, if I'm not mistaken, he was never the same after leaving Boston.
But the Derek Lowe thing, it ages well, Bobby, for sure.
Right.
But in 2003, the Fenway faithful was throwing everything that they could get their hands on at him because of how terrible he was doing. He had
he won a Cy Young. He won a Cy Young, if you remember.
Yeah, the year before, but he in 02, yeah. I mean, that game against Tampa Bay, I'll never forget that.
There's no hitter.
It was great. It was awesome.
And then he told Oakland to suck it. Remember?
Right. Oh yeah. Great moment. Great moment.
Bobby, who was on your honorable mentions?
I pretty much got all mine on there, to be honest. And then all the other ones you guys talked about already. I don't have many more. Actually, I had a couple. I had the Bill Russell one, which I mentioned. Randy Moss and the Wes Welker. And then I had a couple of Pats. I had the Pats trading up to get Gronk because I knew that they traded up to get him.
Didn't Red Auerbach trade to get Larry Bird's rights?
Yes. But that's fucking wild. Like, how does that happen? How do you like? How do you allow that? And that happened in back-to-back years. You get Bird rights, you get McHale the next year. That's wild. How do you allow that? How does that happen?
20 years after doing the same thing for Bill Russell.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. So I'm just like, I don't know. I'm just like, that's wild.
All right. So Bobby, we've heard
Love it.
Ray's feelings about this, but I want you to put your rally cap on. Imagine that you are a 16-year-old in Canton, Massachusetts, watching the Red Sox, and you just heard that Nomar Garciaparra was traded. What do you think? What do you remember about that day and really about how it all happened?
So I was actually we weren't 16. We were what?
I'm 36. It was 20 years ago, so I was definitely 16.
It was a 4. He was 16.
Yeah.
He's got 2 years older than me. So yeah.
However old you are right now, Bobby, just subtract 20. And that's how old you were then.
It was exactly 20 years ago. Are you sure?
July 31st, 2004.
2004. All right. Yeah, fine. That's fair. So I just remember I remember knowing that the Red Sox would be forever different. You know what I mean? There's no way exactly to put it except for they were going to be different forever because Nomar wasn't on the team anymore.
Right.
It was such a people don't remember, like, if you're a new Red Sox fan now watching this team, you know, completely overachieve, you don't remember how much Nomar actually was Boston. You know what I mean? He was Tom Brady before Tom Brady existed. That's the best way to put it.
Yeah.
Yeah, correct. Yep.
You know what I mean?
He
was Tom Brady before Tom Brady.
He had Mia Hamm. He had the
Right,
famous
right.
I forgot about the Mia Hamm thing.
Right.
Yeah.
It was like there was a time in like 1998 where the shortstop conversation in the American League and all of baseball was Nomar.
Yeah, the shortstop.
And then it was Jeter and A-Rod. And
Nomar was number one.
Nomar was
number one.
And yeah, he had some injuries in, I think it was 01, 02 that kind of derailed him. 04 was going to be a bounce back year, and it wasn't for him. I mean, he never really got off the ground running.
Do you remember he did the Sports Illustrated cover, and he was never the same after that. He got all jacked up, and people say the conspiracy was always maybe he did steroids before that 03-04 season. Because remember, he got all jacked up and then he hurt his wrists and he was never the same after that.
Yeah, I just remember like, so you gotta like.
Was it 02 he hurt his wrist and he was out for?
I think it was end of 01 and then it carried over to spring training in 02.
Yeah.
I just like, for those again that weren't there, Nomar, like Bobby's right, Nomar was Brady before Brady was here. Like there was a vacuum in Boston sports after Bird left, right after Neely retired. Ray Bork was old.
And Nomar took that.
Nomar was our hope, and he was going to be the guy that helped us break the curse. And I pity those that did not experience Boston Red Sox baseball pre 2004 because it's never been the same. The hate was real. You could not go to Fenway Park for a Yankee game and sit in the bleachers and not expect to be punched in the face. Like it just happened, and he was a vital part of that. Like he and Roger at the end, but then him and Pedro, him and Manny, like we thought that was going to be it. Like that was going to be the thing that got us there. And it turns out it was him leaving that was the catalyst. And like Ray, I think you said it so perfectly. It's wild to think that Nomar, the guy that hit 372 in a year, that was the best shortstop in all of baseball in everyone's mind. And the next big thing, he's traded for Doug Mankiewicz and Orlando Cabrera.
Yeah, and once again, what Orlando Cabrera and Doug Mankiewicz became for that run is insurmountable, right? Like they were amazing.
Cabrera was really good for that.
Cabrera had a couple of game-winning hits. He was already a Gold Glover in Montreal, and once again, Montreal organization belongs in our Ring of Honor too.
Pedro.
Yes, Pedro. You gave us obviously you gave us Cabrera. They had a lot of fucking talent in that organization, from Vlad to Larry Walker, to Pedro, to his brother Ramon, to Moises.
Ramon, wow, what a name.
Man, it's so thank you.
We had Ramon too for a little bit.
Yeah, we sure did. Yeah,
we had all the siblings. We had Jeremy.
That was the original Thanasis and Giannis.
That's right, except we started Ramon.
Well, Ramon wasn't bad. Ramon was
he was better than Thanasis. I'm saying, but it's just like we knew who the better brother was. Like
He was
it was never
supposed to
going
be.
to get a
He was
base.
supposed to be the better one coming out. That's what everyone.
Pedro, man, listen, what we saw in that '99 All-Star game.
Oh my God, there was nothing like that.
There's no.
Thank God that made the
Hey,
list. Let me just say, thank God that made the
You're
list.
welcome.
Yeah. Quick rant, right? Like after seeing what happened in the '99 All-Star game, which once again I'm biased. I think between that and 2002 was the best All-Star games of our generation. How has it not come back here? Like how has that happened? How has that happened?
They don't have the infrastructure for it.
Like it's unbelievable. Yeah.
But also like in the height of the steroid era, Heath fans Bonds, McGuire, and Sosa back to back.
Yep. Actually, well,
And Bagwell.
Bagwell, Biggio.
But Bonds, McGuire, and Sosa was
that team was fucking loaded, bro. Like yeah, man. What a time. What a time to be a baseball player. What a time to be.
Baseball's not the same anymore. I was
It's
talking
not,
about
it's
that with
not.
my friend the other day. Now people are hitting 245, and that's a good average. If you're at like 245, you're doing pretty solid. It's just not the same that it used to be.
Nope, not at all.
right.
Yeah.
I mean, this list I think was one of our. We thought coming into it was going to be something that we agreed on, and it was going to be our easiest list. And again, I will point out for those listening at home and watching on YouTube, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening.
Don't blame me.
We have a top 10 trades in Boston sports history list that does not include Randy Moss, does not include Josh Beckett or Mike Lowell, does not include Robert Parish.
I took them
Well,
out.
hey, it was said. It was said. So again, if the clips aren't put together that we skip it, fine. But it was said in the audio on. So we're on Spotify, our iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts. So you can listen to it because it's said. It may get crossed off, but you heard us say it because we gave credit where it was due. And once again, we gave you an honorable mention. We gave you some extra baseball talk. So we're giving you what you need. So that's what we do, baby.
So one last time, the definitive list, the MTP top 10 trades in Boston sports history. Number 10, Cam Neely is traded to Boston from Vancouver. Number 9, Trader Danny trades down for number 1 for the number 3 and chooses Jayson Tatum over Markelle Fultz. Number 8, it still bothers me. Heathcliff Slocum for Derek Lowe and Jason Varitek. Number 7, Curt Schilling is traded to Boston from the Diamondbacks. Number 6, Phil Esposito traded to Boston from Chicago. Number 5, Celtics trade KG, Paul Pierce, Jason Terry to Brooklyn for a boatload of draft picks that ended up building our what we hope to be our dynasty. Number 4, Pedro Martinez is traded to Boston by Montreal. Number 3, KG is traded to Boston from Minnesota for literally our entire bench. Number 2, Red Sox trade Babe Ruth to the Yankees to begin an 86-year curse. Number 1, the Red Sox trade Nomar Garciaparra to the Chicago Cubs to end an 86-year curse. For the real BK Bob Kelly, for Hollywood Rayshawn Buchanan, this is Michael Marcangelo saying thank you for listening to Missing the Point, and we'll talk to you later.
Hi, I'm Sherilyn Fenn from Twin Peaks. What did you do on your last Saturday night?
Did you hear something?
Toilet paper.
There's none. Nada. The reserves have gone dry. People are hoarding it. I should have done that.
They're all out of hand sanitizer at my Target.
Mark, when did you last watch the news?
We are getting reports of forced quarantines in China, Japan, and now Italy.
You're cutting onions in half and putting them around your apartment.
Yes, exactly. It kills the COVID.
Excuse me?
Let's go. Let's go. Get in.
Vamos, rápido.
Have you ever driven one of these?
Never.
I'll drive, ladies.
I've got the keys.
Excuse me, I'm lost. I'm looking for my wife. I got turned around.
Join me, Eric Roberts, Jennifer Elise Cox, and Ed Asner for The Last Saturday Night, an Electricast podcast. You'll love it. Electricast. Electricast.